JoJo has absolutely been on fire these past couple of months here. 9 episodes in, still having an absolute blast. This episode had a lot going on. First and foremost, we get introduced to a sassy goddess named Trish, who just had one of the best introductions because, I mean, immediately she's a badass, but then just uses and abuses our poor lads here and just really gives them a headache and a run for their money. But also, our boy Bruno gets an upgrade here. He's now promoted to a capo, which is an awesome promotion here. Definitely gonna have its stress-filled moments off and on, but still, our boy deserved it. But then we also get introduced to the stand Aerosmith, and holy hell was this just an absolute blast of an episode. Honestly, if you only just had the introduction of Trish and the promotion to capo, this would be a great episode by itself. But add in the stand mix, like, this is just an amazing episode. Definitely one of my favorite episodes of this part of JoJo so far. I mean, first things first, like, let's talk about Trish, because Trish's introduction I thought was an absolute treat. I mean, it was clear that she was going to be able to hold her own. There's no way someone kind of acting as a janitor was going to get stabbed or anything like that. So I did like how, you know, she was able to turn the tides here, pull the knife right back on our poor guy, and I just thought she was a badass. She had her moments, but I wasn't expecting the sass. Like, once you start listening to her speak, like, hey, take off your shirt. This man had a whole different idea of why he was taking off his shirt, and he was just let down there because she just wanted something to dry her hands with. Like, these types of characters, these overly confident, overly, like, bossy, push you around type girls, like, there's something about how they applied it to the JoJo formula that is just entertaining, because you know she's not someone who's always going to need protecting. She's going to be able to hold her own when it counts, but if she has a bunch of assassins after her, of course she's going to need some bodyguards that have stance. So I do like how they're able to set the viewer's expectations of this is a girl who can hold her own, but also she has a bit of a sassy kind of wild side to her, and she's going to really mesh with this group in a very entertaining way, and probably is going to stress them out from time to time, which I thought was the best introduction possible. But when it came to Bruno and where he hid this treasure, I thought that was brilliant. I mean, most people probably expected he hid it somewhere where he needs to unlock it with his zipper. I was expecting something more in like the wilderness, somewhere where people naturally wouldn't stumble across, but I think it was so brilliant and so perfect that he actually hid it inside a urinal, because who would think that he would be stupid enough to put the treasure in plain sight where people would naturally go all the time. I think that's brilliant. I love how JoJo can play with expectations, because you know he's probably hid it somewhere with his stand. I mean, we knew what his stand was, but still, putting it in plain sight is just the perfect thing ever, especially like when he's opening it up and you're just seeing all this gold, you're seeing it kind of like, yeah, this is a lot of money. You've proven yourself to be trustworthy. We don't care where you got this money, you're now a cop. Even though we've only been with this guy for 9 episodes here, I feel like he deserves that promotion, especially if he's been holding on to that treasure for Paulo for all that time. Like, honestly, give that man the promotion. I thought that was just excellent. I just love the individual conversations that were happening in this episode, and like I mentioned, if it was just Trish and Bruno in this episode, that would be enough to be a satisfying episode. Like, the first little chunk of this episode flew by so fast, because just all the little conversations that were happening and just all the over-exaggerated scenes with that JoJo formula, zoom out on character model, overly crisp and cleanly detailed, like, it was just so fun to see these characters talking and just kind of playing ahead, like, okay, this is what you're gonna have to do now that you have this promotion, this is what the head boss has in charge for you. Protect this girl. Some people are coming after you. You only have to hold on to her for a week, but it seems like this whole part of JoJo goes by within that time period, so she should be sticking with the core cast for the entire run. So I just thought the way they were handling these character interactions, like, they found this way to really make you excited. Like, the first half, they were just standing around talking, but it was so thrilling to listen to all these characters, especially when you get introduced to such a sassy girl who is just really shaking the core formula up, and just how she's really gonna push their buttons, it feels like, but also she's gonna hold her own when it counts, which I really liked. But when you get introduced to Aerosmith, holy hell, there's so many bands that I'm actually a big fan of here, and then you just see them in stand form, and I'm just like, yes, this is, even though I didn't know what a stand like Aerosmith would look like, this makes sense. You know, this toy plane, I don't know what all it's gonna do. Right now we know it has machine guns, it has bombs. Please don't give me full details of what the stand's gonna do. I'm watching the anime, I can figure it out myself as I'm watching. JoJo fans tend to really want to leave all these details in the comments. I'm watching the anime, people are watching the anime, we're gonna figure out as it goes along, so please don't give me overly detailed explanations on the stand. I'm gonna watch and find out myself. But I really liked how we're just seeing this stand, because it's so interesting. Like, these stands so far, like, they have the abilities to be creative. You know, like we saw with Bruno just hiding his this treasure in a urinal. But then you also have these kind of like in-your-face powerful stands, but they're a bit more interesting. They're not just like a big guy punching you. It's, you got like this toy airplane coming in, which you're gonna look at and say, oh, that's not gonna be that devastating. Holy shit, that's a real machine gun, that's a real bomb. Like, holy hell. Like, just the entire detail to this, because you have this guy who can essentially, like, it seems like his ability is to shrink things. I mean, he put a cat in a bottle, he then put himself in the pocket. Like, it was just very fun. Like, the fight wasn't really like you thought someone was getting killed there. Like, sure, maybe he got stabbed or slashed a bit, but it was more of, this is a guy who just needs to figure out where Trish is, and he's not gonna kill the guy who's gonna lead him. Even, I don't even think he could kill him if he tried. But it was nice to see our boy get so flustered and just have a meltdown in the middle of the street. And just seeing the devastation of Aerosmith, like, I'm really excited to see this stand when we actually see him fighting someone who's actually trying to kill him right then and there. That's gonna be pretty exciting. Like, this part of JoJo has been just so fun. This episode, it was able to do so much in such a short time frame. Like, there's 3 really big moments in this episode, but they just managed to make each part of this episode feel so perfect, so well paced, so comfy. The voice acting, the overall facial reactions, the little bit of soft music in the background, it really builds this really interesting atmosphere that makes you just smile, have a blast, and then when the episode ends, you're like, why is it over already? I thought I just started watching this 5 minutes ago. This part of JoJo has been flying by every single week. It's such a fun part. The stands are creative, they're unique. I love the band references, I love the characters. There isn't a single character I'm not fond of right now in this JoJo part. I'm interested in seeing every single one on screen whenever they get their chance to shine. The chemistry between these casts is just like absolutely incredible. I love how they fight. I love how they'll stab each other in the eye if they have to, but they still have each other's back when it counts, and I just love it. It's just so perfect. This part is hilarious. This part is just really serious. It's thrilling. It's literally everything I want in a JoJo part. Let me know whatever you thought of this week's episode down in that comment section below. Did you love it? Did you hate? Your favorite moment? Whatever you're feeling, let me know. And be sure to like the video if you did enjoy, and also hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content from me in the future. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.